Assalamu alaikum. I think Brother Ikram is just making sure the live streams are running, and then we will start shortly, inshallah.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله إن شاء الله. جزاكم الله.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Still didn't get started, Dr. Ihab. We're getting the live stream up right now, inshallah.
Allah يبارك فيك. So should we start right now, inshallah?
Just give it a minute, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good to see you, Doctor.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. بارك الله فيكم. الله يبارك فيك, Brother Fayaz.
Okay, as far as I can see, all the live streams are working, and we have people, what we have right now. At this point, I think we got, yeah, inshallah. We can proceed, inshallah, with the Quran recitation. Would that be fine, Ahmad Khalil?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Wa alaikum assalam. Okay, so we got all the live streams. Jazak Allah for everybody coming in, inshallah. So we have already Dr. Ihab Saad waiting for us, inshallah, to get started.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'm really glad to be speaking with all of you. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our good deeds in this last day of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah that Allah allowed us to reach this far, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst the ones who are saved in this last day. Brother Haida is just joining right now. Let me just make sure he's admitted. So we inshallah have some time maybe for Quran reading, and then I think there is going to be some words by Brother Ihab Saad and Dua. So depending on the time, we can do maybe Surah Al-Rahman and Surah Al-Waqa if you have time, or just Surah Al-Rahman only if we don't have time. Any feedback is welcome. Dr. Ihab, what do you think?
Yeah, whatever you decide, inshallah. I'm fine either way, inshallah. Barakallah feek.
The understanding is like a few people are going to read. Maybe Maulana Muhammad Haida, can you hear me?
Which page number is this one? And this
Surah Yasin is page 440 in my copy.
Yeah, okay.
It's just 22.
Yep, got it, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون.
Jazakumullah khair. Brother Ihab, maybe you can start reading. We're for everybody who joined now. We're in Ayah 16, Surah Yasin, which is page 441 in my copy of the Mus'haf. So Surah Yasin, page 441, Ayah 16. Brother Ihab, you would like to start reading, inshallah?
طيب from which ayah إن شاء الله؟
آية 16.
طيب. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أأتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون
جزاكم
وآية
الله خير. May Allah bless you. Brother Ahmad Abdul-Shafi, are you available inshallah to read?
إن شاء الله.
وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار. آية, for those who just joined, this is Ayah 27, page 442. وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار.
وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم قالوا وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين.
جزاكم الله خير. جزاكم الله خير. May Allah accept from you. For those who just joined, inshallah, we're reading Surah Yasin, and we are in Ayah 47. Brother Muhammad Khalil, can you start, inshallah, reading?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون.
جزاكم الله خير. Maybe a few ayat. Brother Fayaz, are you available?
Sorry, continue because I do not have the exact mushaf with me.
Okay. Do you want to see which ayah? Ayah 55, Surah Yasin, or should I maybe have Brother Mansoor read?
Go ahead, let Mansoor read, please.
Brother Mansoor, are you available?
Yes, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون.
جزاكم الله خير. May Allah bless you. جزاكم الله خير. Brother Walid Hintati, we're at ayah 66. Are you available to read, inshallah? Okay, maybe Brother Sameh. Seems Brother Walid is not available.
Okay, inshallah. ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين.
ما شاء الله. جزاكم الله خير. ينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين. Brother Muhammad Niyan, maybe. Brother Walid, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. I was.
Okay. So go ahead then, Brother Walid, and then, or maybe Brother Muhammad Niyan, go ahead for half of the page, and then Brother Walid can conclude, inshallah.
ومن نعمره ننكسه.
No, we're ayah 71. أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون.
جزاكم الله خير. جزاكم الله خير. May Allah bless. So, Brother Walid, you want to go ahead, inshallah?
أولم يرى الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون.
جزاكم الله خير. جزاكم الله خير. Ikram, we have
Okay, so
multiple
inshallah, yeah, okay.
speakers, inshallah. Brother Ihab, Brother Muhammad, you're gonna make some dua. Brother Fayaz wanted to have a few questions. We have also people like many people read, but Alhamdulillah, we have many more people. But just for the flow, maybe I'm like we have some representatives reading, but everybody, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the ajr for the reading.
Alhamdulillah, Jazak Allah Khairan. Yeah, so just to give a little introduction, we have been having all these Quran halaqats during the month of Ramadan, and some started before that as well. So inshallah, hope to have this continued even after Ramadan. So this was basically a nice, cumulative effort from everyone to do the Quran in this month of Ramadan. And this is, basically getting us all together to do a combined dua session today, inshallah, with Dr. Ihab as being the chief guest who joined us, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan for his time. I will give the floor a little bit to Maulana to just to give a little introduction and, maybe see if somebody else wants to make an announcement. After that, then give it to Dr. Ihab. Maulana?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاك الله خير. أنا
وعليكم.
we're waiting for Dr. Ihab inshallah to give his speech.
الله يبارك فيك. جزاك الله خير. طيب يعني before we start, how much time do we have inshallah so that I can adjust my
we have inshallah no problem. Just the whole morning is ours inshallah. So you take
Allah.
your time inshallah. Yeah, mate. We will go for a good dua inshallah towards the end, but you have all the time inshallah. Jazakallah khairan. I just want to see if if you can see if somebody has announcement. Otherwise, you can proceed inshallah. Was Brother Fayaz wanted to go so with something with short questions? I wasn't sure because I didn't get anything. Ahmed Khalil, you were mentioning something. Oh, he said, yeah, if we have time for a question or two. So, Brother Fayaz, is that something you want to do before the session?
No. Okay. If there is any time left, I was saying just if there is any time.
Okay. And inshallah, Dr. Sameh Mubarak, if you want to just put in some words, inshallah.
Yeah, I just really would like to take this opportunity and thank the brother that is really had put a lot of hours and a lot of work behind streamlining this gathering, blessing gathering, not only for this, for the whole program that Mass have done during this month, and that Brother Ikram ad-Din. I really, it was a great effort, not just the programs, a lot of programs. I'm really proud of having Brother Ikram as part of our group. Jazakumullah khair.
Jazakallah. Barakallah feek, inshallah. All right, with that, Dr. Ihab, I think you are set to go, inshallah.
الله يبارك فيك. جزاكم الله خير. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا مولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum, my dear brothers and sisters. جزاكم الله خيرا for joining this morning, and جزاكم الله خيرا for inviting me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
We can hear you.
خيرا إن شاء الله. So we had, Alhamdulillah, a blessed journey with the Quran during this month, starting almost 30 years ago. Subhanallah, the month as usual passed very quickly, and Subhanallah, every year we say that at the end of Ramadan. So we ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to bless all the efforts and to accept all the efforts of everyone trying to get closer to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala during these blessed days. For most of us, we have been reciting last night in Taraweeh the last juz of the Quran, the juz number 30. And for this month, I've been trying to post online every day some reflections on the Quran. And I haven't done the juz number 30 yet, but again, when I look at the juz number 30, juz Amma, I personally feel that it's the whole journey of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's a summary of the whole life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So in this juz, we find the very beginning of the revelation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we find اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. The first instruction to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam to recite in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who has created. We find at the end of that journey, the last complete surah to be revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Surah Al-Nasr, إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. And in between Iqra and إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح, we find all of the ups and downs, all of the twists and turns, all of the agonies, all of the happiness, all of the different responses from Quraysh and all the non-believers to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We find the response of the believers to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We find the warnings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to his servants and the good news from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to his obedient servants as well. All of these things we find in the 30th juz of the Quran. We find in that juz the attempts of Quraysh to bribe the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam or to negotiate with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the clear response from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the instruction to his messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ لَا أَعْبُدُ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ. We find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us about the question after telling us about the signs of the Day of Judgment and about the heedlessness of the non-believers. عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ عَنِ النَّبَإِ الْعَظِيمِ. What are they asking about? They're asking about the great news from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they're still arguing about it. الَّذِي هُمْ فِيهِ مُخْتَلِفُونَ. We find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asking everyone a question that is sort of the crux or the apex of Surah Al-Takwir, فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us about some of the signs of His majesty and His power subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ وَإِذَا النُّجُومُ انكَدَرَتْ. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asking, فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ. After you have heard all of these ayat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you decide, where do you want to go? Are you going to select the path of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the path that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed for him? Or are you going to turn your backs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to his Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam? We find the punishment that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam received, or the torture or the harassment that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam received at the hands of Quraysh, both in the form of verbal abuse and even physical abuse. So they are mocking the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he did not have any surviving sons. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds to them, Inna shani'aka huwa al-abtar. That when they called Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam abtar, which means he does not have any descendants to continue his mission as male descendants or sons, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no, you are the ones who are cut from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That was the part of the verbal abuse, and part of the physical abuse when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was praying in Al-Kaaba, and Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt told him, after having stepped on the blessed neck of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam until he could not breathe anymore, Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt told him, if you come here again, I'm gonna call my club, I'm gonna call my gang, and we're gonna kill you, or we're gonna beat you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, كَلَّا لَا تُطِعْهُ وَاسْجُدْ وَاقْتَرِبْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this beautiful juz again takes us about from the Day of Judgment, from scenes from the Day of Judgment, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us about physical acts of belief or the lack thereof, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ. Have you seen the one who denies faith? And again, as I was mentioning to my brothers and sisters in Parkwood last night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not describe them as the ones who, as it was in other ayat, the ones who do not perform the prayer, or the ones who do not give their zakah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about a communal act of compassion, of solidarity, of support, of shared responsibility. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this surah, in Surah Al-Ma'un, describes the one who denies faith as فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُّ الْيَتِيمِ, the one who shuns or mistreats the orphan. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ, does not encourage, does not support the feeding of the poor and the needy and the ones who are in desperate need for that support. So again, not to take too much of your time, if we look at this whole juz, and I invite every one of my brothers and sisters to again read that juz and think about it as again the 23-year journey of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam from day one until the last complete revelation, the last complete surah. And we find the support of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala coming time and time again to his messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, reminding him that وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى, the resumption of the wahi after it has stopped for a while is going to be better for you than the first time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminding the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam about the responsibility not only of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam but of every believer, and whoever does not fulfill that responsibility, they're going to be in a complete loss. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. We find the ayat telling us about the blessed night of Laylatul Qadr, when the Quran started descending on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةِ الْقَدْرِ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. And finally, we find the three surah at the end of the Quran, Surah Al-Ikhlas, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ, and Al-Mu'awwidhatain. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from any evil, using different ad'iyah until he sallallahu alaihi wasallam received these mu'awwidhatain, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ and قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. I'm going to share with you a beautiful hadith that I shared with my brothers and sisters from Parkwood last night, or from Jamaat Ibad-ur-Rahman last night. And I looked back, I heard that hadith before, but I did not know about its authenticity. So I had to go back and I checked about its authenticity. Alhamdulillah, it's an authentic hadith where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is teaching us a dua. And Alhamdulillah, I believe that every one of us already knows that dua, but some of us do not know the blessings of saying this dua. And once you know it, I know that you're going to keep saying it every day and as much as you can. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says in the meaning of the hadith, من قال لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. Whoever says this dua, لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير, مخلصا له بها قلبه, with a confident heart in whatever he or she says, they are certain that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only Lord and the only creator. And seeking the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with this dua, the beautiful conclusion of this hadith is very unique. فُتِقَتْ لَهُ السَّمَاءُ فَتْقًا, which means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cracks the sky or the heavens open, حَتَّى يَنْظُرَ اللَّهُ إِلَى قَلْبِ عَبْدِهِ, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would look at his servant who's saying these beautiful words, and whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not punish. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during these blessed days to help us, and even after these blessed days, to help us remember this dua in the morning, in the evening, whenever we have time. It's a very simple, very beautiful dua. It's a confession or an acknowledgement of us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one in whose hands is everything, and He subhanahu wa ta'ala is always in power. So this was a dua that was given to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to remind him and to remind the believers, whenever you feel any hardship, whenever you feel any harassment or any oppression or any injustice from the non-believers, remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in control. One of the modern philosophers, Muslim philosophers, in fact, looked at Surah An-Nas, the last surah in the Quran, or the one not in the order of the revelation, but in the order of the Mus'haf, as we recited today, Surah An-Nas. And he looked at it in a very beautiful way, because he said, looking in the world right now, we find that disbelief or the resistance to Islam or the attacks on Islam, not only in our modern times, but all over history, have been done by primarily three different groups. A group that has been lured by power, like Fir'aun, like Haman, like Al-Walid ibn al-Mughira, like Abu Jahl. And a group that has been lured by money, like Qarun, like the money changers at the time of Sayyidina Isa ala nabina alayhi salatu wasalam. Again, like Al-Walid ibn al-Mughira, who was so wealthy during his time. And by false religion, by the priests of these powerful people. So in the time of Fir'aun, it was the magicians or the sorcerers. At the time of Sayyidina Isa ala nabina alayhi salatu wasalam, it was the priests of the temple who desecrated that temple. And at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was the fortune tellers and the soothsayers and some of the family of the scripture who refused the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and claimed to have the only truth. And when the non-believers came to them asking them, who is better, us or Muhammad? Us who are the custodians of the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or Muhammad who came with this new way of life to separate the families and divide the tribes and so on. So the family, some of the members of the family of the scripture, Ahl al-Kitab, especially the Jews of Al-Madinah al-Munawwara, told them, you are better than he is, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So when we look at Surah An-Nas, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing himself subhanahu wa ta'ala in three different ways. قل أعوذ برب الناس. رب الناس, ملك الناس, إله الناس. Rabb, Malik, and Ilah. So Rabb is basically the one who takes care of others. That's why a person in his household is called Rabbul Bayt. Sayyidina Yusuf ala nabina alayhi salatu wasalam, when he talked about Al-Aziz, he said, قال معاذ الله إنه ربي أحسن مثواي. So this is from the perspective of nurturing, the perspective of care, the perspective of basically control within the household or within the family. And this is the power that is represented by the Fir'aun and people like that. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس. This is the part of the dominion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Malik. Al-Malik is always rich, has fortunes. So here we find the people who claim to have the fortune, the power of money. So there's the power of deen, the power of money, and the power of the media. The media is that third element in that triumvirate that's always attacking the true faith. And the media can come in the form of people who claim to have the knowledge. At the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, these were the Jews of Al-Madinah al-Munawwara. And at the time of Sayyidina Isa, as I mentioned, they were the priests of the temple. At the time of Sayyidina Musa, they were the magicians of Fir'aun. So at each and every time in the history of Islam, in its broader sense, from the creation of mankind until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inherits the earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that there are going to be these three powers. The power of money, the power of kingdom, the physical or brutal power, and the power of the media, those who want to change the faith of people. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling his messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and telling us that he subhanahu wa ta'ala alone has all of these powers, and everyone else who claims to have these powers, these are false signs of power. Therefore, if you're going to seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس. Again, time would not be sufficient if we go on every surah of the 30th juz. But again, as I mentioned to my brothers and sisters, this is a summary of the 23 years of the mission of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us following the footsteps of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam without wavering, without relinquishing, without yielding to any opposition, because again, this opposition is nothing new. This is basically what all the prophets and messengers have faced from the time of Sayyidina Adam, Sayyidina Nuh, until the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore, we find if we have been following the surah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives his messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam the stories of the prophets and messengers before him, and how each nation to whom a prophet or messenger was sent denied him and ended up being destroyed, we find that there's always one command at the end of these stories to his messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling him, fasbir, 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 endure patience. What you're facing from your people is nothing new. It is the same sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the prophets would come to reform. The forces of evil would try to resist them. There would be a confrontation between truth and evil. If the followers of the truth are strong enough, they're going to confront that evil, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will support them, and the evil is going to vanish. وَقُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلُ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among the followers of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the brothers of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as he described, and the heirs of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, carrying the mission of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and accepting the price that we're going to have to pay from verbal abuse, from sometimes physical abuse and harassment and accusations left and right. But again, we're going to take the same advice or the same command that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to his messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we're going to use it in our lives. Fasbir. And in the end, if we endure that patience for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, eventually, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised in the Quran, إِنَّا لَنَنْصُرُ رُسُلَنَا وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَيَوْمَ يَقُومُ الْأَشْهَادُ. We indeed will give victory to our prophets and messengers and to the believers who follow them, both in this life and in the hereafter. So victory is not only going to be in the hereafter, but it's also going to have some earthly aspects. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us fit to receive that victory from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we live and die as followers of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that we would be resurrected on the day of judgment among his nation without changing or modifying anything in the way of life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has endorsed for mankind, which is Islam. So with that, inshallah, I conclude my thoughts about these ayat, and inshallah, if it's time for dua, inshallah, we're going to make dua together. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one day he saw Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu anha on his way out of his home, and then when he came back, she was still sitting in the same place, and she was still making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught her, if you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, use jawami'ud dua, use the most comprehensive dua instead of asking for so many things. There are so many short ad'iyah that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught us, and these include everything that we can wish for or that we can ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for. So with that, inshallah, we are going to make dua together, bi'idhnillah. And the best dua is the one that starts with the glorification of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, followed by something that we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already accepted, which is as-salah ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and concluding with something that we already know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted also, which again is as-salah ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, hoping that anything that's put in between these two boundaries, two accepted dua, one at the beginning and one at the end, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept everything in between. So inshallah, inni da'in fa'aminu, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from all of us. ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك ولعظيم سلطانك، لا إله إلا الله الحليم الكريم، لا إله إلا الله رب العرش العظيم، لا إله إلا الله رب السماوات ورب الأرض رب العرش الكريم، لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم إنا نسألك بأننا نشهد أنك أنت الله لا إله إلا أنت الواحد الأحد الفرد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. يا حي يا قيوم يا حنان يا منان يا بديع السماوات والأرض يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا ودود يا ودود يا ودود يا مجيد يا ذا العرش المجيد يا فعالا لما تريد يا غافر الذنب ويا قابل التوب ويا شديد العقاب ويا ذا الطول يا أرحم الراحمين يا أرحم الراحمين يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الأولين، وصل على سيدنا محمد في الآخرين، وصل على سيدنا محمد في الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين. اللهم أنت ربنا لا إله إلا أنت، خلقتنا ونحن عبيدك، بنو عبيدك بنو إمائك، نواصينا بيدك، ماض فينا حكمك، عدل فينا قضاؤك. نسألك بكل اسم كريم هو لك سميت به نفسك، أو علمته أحدا من خلقك، أو أنزلته في كتابك، أو استأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك، أن تجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا، ونور أبصارنا، وجلاء أحزاننا، وذهاب همومنا وغمومنا. اللهم ذكرنا منه ما نسينا، وعلمنا منه ما جهلنا، وارزقنا تلاوته آناء الليل وأطراف النهار على الوجه الذي يرضيك عنا. اللهم إنا نسألك موجبات رحمتك، وعزائم مغفرتك، والغنيمة من كل بر، والسلامة من كل إثم، والعصمة من كل ذنب، والفوز بالجنة، والنجاة من النار. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته، ولا هما إلا فرجته، ولا كربا إلا نفسته، ولا مريضا إلا شفيته، ولا مبتلا إلا عافيته، ولا أسيرا إلا فككت أسره، ولا مظلوما إلا نصرته، ولا ظالما إلا قهرته، ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة هي لك رضا ولنا فيها صلاح في ديننا ودنيانا إلا قضيتها ويسرتها، وأعنتنا على قضائها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اهدنا ويسر لنا الهدى، واهد بنا واجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى. اللهم اجعلنا هداة مهتدين، لا ضالين ولا مضلين. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا، وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان، واجعلنا من الراشدين فضلا منك ونعمة. اللهم حسن أخلاقنا، اللهم وسع أرزاقنا، اللهم بلغنا مما يرضيك آمالنا. اللهم إنا نسألك نفوسا بك مطمئنة، تؤمن بلقائك وترضى بقضائك وتقنع بعطائك. اللهم إنا نسألك الشوق إلى لقائك في غير فتنة مضلة ولا ضراء مضرة، وإن أردت بعبادك فتنة فاقبضنا إليك غير خزايا ولا مفتونين ولا مبدلين ولا مغيرين. اللهم إنا نسألك من كل خير سألك منه عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعبادك الصالحون، ونعوذ بك من كل شر تعوذ منه عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعبادك الصالحون. اللهم إنا نسألك من الخير كله عاجله وآجله ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم، ونعوذ بك من الشر كله عاجله وآجله ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم. اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما تعلم، ونعوذ بك من شر ما تعلم، فإنك تعلم ولا نعلم، إنك أنت علام الغيوب. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. ربنا اصرف عنا عذاب جهنم إن عذابها كان غراما. ربنا اجعلنا من مقيم الصلاة ومن ذرياتنا ربنا وتقبل دعاءنا. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان، ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم، وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم إنا نسألك رحمة من عندك تهدي بها قلوبنا، وتجمع بها أمرنا، وتلم بها شعثنا، وتزكي بها أعمالنا، وتلهمنا بها رشدنا، وتصلح بها غائبنا، وترفع بها شاهدنا، وترد بها الفتن عنا، وتعصمنا بها من كل سوء يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم إنا نسألك خشيتك في السر والعلانية، ونسألك كلمة الحق في الغضب والرضا، ونسألك القصد في الفقر والغنى. اللهم إنا نسألك شكر نعمتك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم حسن أخلاقنا، اللهم وسع أرزاقنا، اللهم بلغنا مما يرضيك آمالنا. اللهم إنا نسألك الثبات في الأمر والعزيمة على الرشد، ونسألك شكر نعمتك وحسن عبادتك. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا، وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. وصل اللهم على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم إنا دعوناك كما أمرتنا فاستجب لنا كما وعدتنا. اللهم تقبل صلاتنا وصيامنا وقيامنا وركوعنا وسجودنا وسائر أعمالنا واجعلها خالصة لوجهك الكريم. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من أن نشرك بك شيئا نعلمه ونستغفرك لما لا نعلمه. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خير.
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin. Jazak Allah khair, Dr. Ihab. I think everybody is doing Eid preparations, so I'm not, wasn't sure if there was a need for any announcement for those. But Alhamdulillah, we are all performing it on Sunday. So kullu aam wa antum bi khair. And again, congratulations to everybody who has basically completed the Quran this month of Ramadan and in multiple, inshallah. Very good session by Dr. Ihab Saad for us to continue on forward. And inshallah, if anybody has anything at this point, that would be great to just take in some feedbacks, thoughts, or comments.
Jazakumullah Khairan. This is Mansoor from Cary. Thank you for providing this opportunity. I was fortunate to join in the morning and in the evening with the dear brothers that we miss seeing at the masajid, but we were happy to see. Of course, I didn't see Brother Hida on the video as much as I would like to, but inshallah that we'll take care of that, inshallah, when I see him.
Generally, he's in the beach.
Yes, with the virtual background. But Jazakumullah Khairan. Thank you for the Khalil brothers, for you, for Brother Hida, and all Brother Walid, Brother Ayaz, and everyone who facilitated the recital of the Quran and also listening to the beautiful recitation by all of the brothers. So Jazakumullah Khairan. Inshallah, congratulations, Eid Mubarak to all of you. And inshallah, we'll see you very soon. Jazakumullah khair.
Again, due to the last minute of this, we weren't be able to get the streaming key from Ibad-ur-Rahman. Otherwise, we would have actually streamed this to their network as well on the social media. Same goes with Cary Masjid. Alhamdulillah, we try to reach out to as many people as possible and make this as diverse and combined effort in the triangle area. Alhamdulillah for all the halaqats going on. Again, much of this feat was able to done with the team in Alnoor Masjid in Fuqua, Warina. MashaAllah, a great team led by Ahmed Abd Shafi and his team. And also, we have the team in MYCC and Brother Walid and Ayaz who helped out a lot in terms of getting all these logistics work out. Jazak Allah Khairan. And any other comments, inshallah, Brother Fiaz or anybody?
I have something if
yes,
I
please,
may.
go ahead. Yes.
I Alhamdulillah, subhanallah, with this Zoom, this is the first time I use Zoom this month of Ramadan. But mashallah, it's amazing. It gathered our hearts, mashallah, from everywhere around the area. So I had a suggestion. I told him yesterday to Brother Ikram and the other brothers that we continue, inshallah, doing the word, reading the word of Quran every morning after Fajr. Inshallah, it will not take more than 15 minutes. What I suggest to make it easy and achievable, inshallah, that we read only half hizb, 2 ruba' every morning, just reading. And then we probably one day of the weekend or something like this, that we do a longer session going over, like what Brother Dr. Ihab, mashallah, did today, go over what we have read during the week or something like this, with some more meaning into it. I think it will be achievable. I understand that not everybody will be joining every day, including myself, but we try our best, inshallah. This way we will finish the Quran every 4 months together. Every 4 months we will have Khatm of Qur'an. And in the same time, every week we have a longer session to go over the meanings of what we have read. just a suggestion. I think it will be achievable and will be beneficial to everybody, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan for all the effort that you did during the month.
Everybody's done a very good job, Alhamdulillah. Also, give a shout out to the sisters wing as well, who actually had their own halaqats, and some of them joined in through various social media outlets as well to catch on the dua by Dr. Ihab Saad. And again, Jazakallah khair for everybody attending. Alhamdulillah, keep us in your duas. And yes, to take from Brother Waleed's plea, we should, inshallah, continue on after Ramadan. And this was the whole gist of the talk by Dr. Ihab Saad, leading us into a very good dua, inshallah. Anything else, inshallah, from Ibad-ur-Rahman group or Maulana again, as we want to see him again? Where is he?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Jazakallah khairan for having this beautiful program. I thank you to all the brothers who participated, Brother Ikram, and particularly Dr. Ihab Saad for this beautiful dua. And just wanted to announce that Ibad-ur-Rahman, inshallah, we're going to have 3 salahs tomorrow. One going to be at 8 o'clock. Dr. Ihab going to be the khatib for that imam for that salah, and then at 9:15, and then at 10:30, inshallah ta'ala. Everybody is required to bring a mask and a prayer rug with them, inshallah ta'ala. And I say Eid Mubarak to everybody on behalf of Jamaat Ibad-ur-Rahman. Jazakallah khairan.
Jazakallah khairan. Before we conclude, I have also a sure. brief comment to make, inshallah. Ramadan is not over yet, and in fact today we have a great opportunity from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We know that Laylatul Qadr might have been one of the last, the odd of the last 10 nights of Ramadan, but today actually, and especially after Asr today, is going to be a very blessed hour. This is the hour where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala emancipates from fire, yu'tiq min al-nar subhanahu wa ta'ala, as many people as those who have been emancipated for the whole month. And this is going to be in the last hour of fasting today. So starting from after Asr, basically between Asr and Maghrib, this is going to be a very blessed time. So I hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would enable us again to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with our supplication, with our demands, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from all the riches that He subhanahu wa ta'ala has, and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept everything that we have done during this month, and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us one look from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we would not be suffering from anything afterwards. So again, I'm reminding myself and my brothers and sisters not to miss that great opportunity from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says in the meaning of the hadith, Inna li rabbikum fi ayyami dahrikum la nafahat ala fata'aradu laha. The mere translation is that your Lord has created special occasions in your lives, in your times. So put yourself in a position to receive these blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So just a reminder for myself and my brothers and sisters, inshallah.
Very good reminder. Jazakallah khair for that, inshallah. Well done.
Brother Ikram, can I add just one last thing?
Actually, I wanted to give the floor to the team from Masjid Alnoor. So please go ahead, Brother Shafi, or anybody.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. So just to add and emphasize on a couple of things that you guys mentioned, this age of the pandemic has taught us a lot and allowed us to do things that we normally wouldn't do in normal cases. So I would say it's a benefit to that. May Allah take this away from us and just move us beyond this pandemic and its effect on our lives. But it has resulted in lots of efforts and lots of programs that we can continue, not just the recitations, not just the halaqat, but lots of things that we can continue to do online and allow people to join and just break that barrier that some people might have difficulties to go to the masjid to do, especially with kids programs and other things. Interactions directly in the masjid, of course, are the best, but being able to do that allowed us to have a massive number of programs that included young people, kids, adults, sisters, brothers, all over. The other thing that I see, mashallah, is the cooperation between the different organizations. And I will name here Alnoor and the MYCC and the MAS. And I would like to mention the names, honestly. Brother Ikram and Brother Ayaz and Brother Ahmed, they have worked tirelessly to make sure that these programs run smoothly. We have had lots of people who have been following, lots of people who have been asking if you're going to continue that in summer. And it was very beautiful to see the cooperation between 3 different organizations. And I hope that expands to all the organizations in the area, that we all work together. And that's what you see when different organizations work together. Each of them can focus on something they can do well. None of them really cared who is doing what or to have their name on it. All the 3 organizations have their logos on the program. That's something unprecedented in the area. I'm so glad to see that. There were hundreds of messages between the 3 brothers to make sure everything goes smooth. So Jazakumullah Khairan, that was really a success, I think, and we should capitalize in that and continue to do it. And I will finalize by saying that both masajid, inshallah, are also having their Eid prayers tomorrow. So for Alnoor, we have the first shift at 8:30 a.m. and the second shift at 10 a.m. And Brother Walid, you can, I'm not sure exactly about the times of the shifts for the North Raleigh with the MYCC.
Yeah,
You can add that.
The same hours.
Same hours, inshallah. So in addition to these 2, also we have Jamaat Ibad-ur-Rahman. It's nice to know that there are other masajid in the area also doing that. Outdoors, let's all make sure that we follow the guidelines and make sure that we keep people safe and they wear their masks and have their prayer mats with them. But I will just conclude by saying the cooperation has been great. Let's continue on it. Let's add more people to it. And let's just remove these barriers between the organizations and make sure that we know that you get more success when we work together and have a common goal that we all aim for. Jazakumullah khair.
Very thought-provoking comments. Jazakallah khair, Brother Ahmed Abdul Shafi. And inshallah, we look forward to very good programs coming out from there as well. And Alhamdulillah, Cary Masjid is having their Eid programs also. I'm not sure about the timings, but I'm sure you can find them all on their website. And, Maulana, just a little bit of comment on what you have seen and what you have witnessed. It's probably the most unique Ramadan that you have gone through, experienced through as well.
MashaAllah, Jazak Allah khair, as the brothers mentioned before me, which is Jazak Allah khair, you was behind this effort. May Allah reward all of us, accept from all of us, guide us, and take our heart to His sake, inshallah. وجزاكم الله خير for everything. ورمضان مبارك وعيد مبارك على الجميع إن شاء الله. كل عام وأنتم بخير.
كل عام وأنتم بخير. وإن شاء الله ختم يا مولانا دعاء in the end.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. الحمد لله على كل حال. نحمدك اللهم ربنا حمد الشاكرين ونثني عليك ثناء الموحدين. نحمدك يا ربنا على نعمة الإيمان ونعمة الصيام ونعمة القرآن ونعمة رمضان. نحمدك يا ربنا حتى ترضى ونحمدك يا ربنا إذا رضيت ونحمدك بعد الرضا. ولك الحمد يا ربنا على كل حال. لك الحمد والشكر على كل حال يا أرحم الراحمين وأكرم الأكرمين. نسألك اللهم يا مولانا يا من أنزلت في كتابك شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. ويا من أنزلت في كتابك ادعوني أستجب لكم. ويا من أنزلت في كتابك إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا. ويا من أنزلت في كتابك إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات سيجعل لهم الرحمن ودا. أن تجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا وشفاء لما في صدورنا وجلاء لهمومنا وأحزاننا. ذكرنا منه ما نسينا، علمنا منه ما جهلنا، اجعله الوارث منا وارزقنا حسن ترتيله وألهمنا حسن تأويله برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين ويا أكرم الأكرمين. يا رب سامحنا على أخطائنا واغفر لنا ذنوبنا. يا رب نسألك قبل أن ينقضي هذا الشهر أن تغفر لنا أجمعين، وأن تقبلنا أجمعين، وأن تتوب علينا أجمعين، وأن ترضى عنا أجمعين، وأن تهب المسيئين للمحسنين، فإن لم يكن منا محسن فهبنا إلى جودك ورحمتك وكرمك يا أرحم الراحمين ويا أكرم الأكرمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا ظالمين. اغفر لآبائنا وأمهاتنا وأبنائنا وبناتنا وزوجاتنا ونساء المؤمنين يا أرحم الراحمين، حلين ولا مضلين. صل اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد في الأولين، وصل وسلم وبارك عليه في الآخرين، وصل وسلم وبارك عليه في الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين. وارض اللهم عن سادتنا أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي، وعن الصحابة أجمعين، وعن التابعين وتابعيهم وعنا معهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون، وسلام على المرسلين، والحمد لله رب العالمين.
جزاك الله خير.
جزاك الله خيرا.
جزاك الله يحفظكم.
Keep us in your dua, inshallah. جزاك الله خيرا جميعا. Thank you, Dr. Ihab.
الله يبارك فيك.
سبحانك اللهم
وشكرا
جزاك الله. لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. عيد مبارك إن شاء الله.
عيد مبارك. جزاكم الله خيرا جميعا.
عيد مبارك جميعا in advance إن شاء الله.
تقبل الله منا.
نعم.
جزاكم الله
عليكم.
خير. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
جزاكم الله. السلام عليكم.
وعليكم